Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jennifer. So guys, in this video today we're gonna make the pattern of the dress you're seeing on the screen. If you are my regular, thank you so much for your support. If it's your first time, please don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and let's focus on making the pattern of the dress. So guys, to make this pattern you need a brown paper or white paper, a pattern paper, your tape measure, your pen or marker if you have one, and you need your curved ruler or straight one to start. And please use your body measurement. Your pattern paper can be on fold or single, it doesn't matter. So on the top of the pattern paper you're going to make a straight line. So guys, I like to work with inches, but you can also work with centimeters. So guys, I'm gonna be taking all my measurement from the 5-inch. You can use 6 or 7 or 8. I don't want my boob to show so much, so on the line we did make, you must place that 5 inches there, as you can see in the video. Now from my shoulder to my bust it's 9 inches, and from my shoulder to my under bust it's 13 inches, and from my shoulder to my waist it's 16 and a half, and the full length of this top, which is like a corset top, I want it to be 24, a little bit into, you know, pull my stomach in a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the same measurement on the other side of the page just to make my line straight. The same thing we did. So this is just to help you to get your line very straight, because sometimes you can take the line, the measurement only on the front, on the other side the line are not so straight. So after taking, you must go ahead and connect with your ruler. Guys, next time I will use my marker, because now I didn't have a marker, so I just use my pen, but I'm gonna try to draw like more so this can be visible. You must place your ruler nice and connect the line all together. Make sure it's visible. So guys, after connecting all your line, you must just go ahead and label. So that is my bust line, and the second one is my under bust. Like I said, please use your measurement, it's very important. And the third line is my waist, and the last line is the top length. So guys, now I'm gonna put my body measurement after marking, so you don't get confused. You know where's your bust line, your under bust, your waistline. Now we're gonna put in our body measurement. So my nipple to nipple is 8, so 8 divided by 2, so we have 4. So I'm gonna mark 4 on all the line, on the bust line, on the under bust, on the waist, and on the top length. Just watch what I'm doing in the video. After marking 4 inch on all the lines, now I'm gonna go ahead and connect it all together. Please make sure your ruler is sitting nice and straight. Connect all those 4 points together, and please make sure your ruler is sitting straight. As you can see, I'm just marking it more so this can be visible for you. So on my under bust, I'm gonna come down by 1 inch. Even if you're on a small size or big size, you can still come down by 1 inch. So on the waistline, if I'm gonna come in by 1. If you are on a small size, please come in by 0.5. On the side of the top, I'm gonna come in by 1.5. If you are a small size, please take 0.5. I'm gonna do the same on the top length. So from the 1 inch we did come down, I'm gonna connect it to my waistline. As you can see, I turn my ruler around. I'm using the curvy side. I'm gonna do the same on the other side. Just watch what I'm doing in the video. After connecting that, now we're going to connect from our waist line to the top length. Remember, we did mark 1 inch on the front. On the side of the top, we did mark 1.5. But if you're in a small size, you can take 0.5 both sides. If you're like a medium size, a little bit busty, you can take 0.5 on the front and 1 inch on the side. Now we're going to take our dot intake on top. On the bust line, I'm gonna take 0.75 on the front. Just make sure your tape measure is sitting nice. And on the sides, I'm gonna take 1.5 just to tighten up our bust. I'm gonna go on my under bust. So my under bust, I'm gonna come up by 1 inch. So if you're a small size, on the bust line you can come in by 1 inch both sides. That would definitely be nice. So just make sure you fix it properly, must sit nice, and then you take your round ruler, you connect it as you can see in the video. And on the other side you do the same thing. From the 1.5 on the bust line, you connect it to the under bust on that 1 inch point we just take. So now I'm gonna take 0.5 on the front. I don't want it to be so sharp, so I'm gonna take 0.5 and I'm gonna connect it to that 1 inch we did take for our dot intake. The reason why, because I don't want it to be so sharp. You know, I want it a little bit to be slanted on the front, just a little bit, not too much. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take my body measurement. Please use your own body measurements. So on the bust line, I'm gonna put my bust measurement, which is 40 divided by 4, it's 10, and I'm gonna measure my dot, which is 2.2. Then I'm gonna add the dot intake. So on the under bust, it's not really necessary to take the under bust measurement there because my waist and my under bust is the same. So I'm just gonna use my waist measurement, divide by 4. It's 7.75, and I'm gonna mark that first. So to make you understand, and after that I'm gonna also measure my dot. So there I have 2.5 because I did take 1 inch on the front and 1.5 on the side. So I'm gonna add that 2.5 there. And on my top length, which is my hip measurement, is 34. Divide by 4, I have 8.5. So I'm gonna mark 8.5 plus the 2 inches of the dot intake. So I'm gonna add that 2 inch back. Actually, that was wrong. I'm supposed to add 2.5 because on my waist and my top length on the hip line is actually 2.5. So as you can see in the video, I tried to connect, it didn't work, so I had to add that 0.5 in order for it to sit properly. So I'm just gonna measure again. 34 divided by 2, which is 8.5. 8.5 plus 2 inch of the dot. Then I'm gonna add the 0.5. Yeah, just to to connect it properly, because it's actually 2.5, it's not 2-inch down there. So after connecting, this is how the top is looking. I'm gonna go ahead and on the side seam on top, it's more like a shoulder line, but there's no shoulder line there. I'm gonna go down by 0.5, and then I'm gonna try to connect it to the 1.5 on the sides that we did take earlier. You must place your ruler properly on the round side. If you don't have a round ruler, you can use your hands, like free hands. You connect the 0.5 to the 1.5 that's like. So this is just me trying to draw it a little bit more so it can be visible, but next time on my tutorial I'll definitely use Koki, because the pen is not really that visible. So now I'm gonna add on my seam allowance. I'm gonna add only 1 inch on the bust line, and 1 inch on the waistline, and 1 inch on the hip line, which is the top length or the M line. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect it. So if you remember, on our side seam we did come down by 1/2 inch. Now we're gonna connect it to the actual top, because this 1 inch is actually our top allowance. Yeah, now we're gonna connect it so we can just get that slant through. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just try to make the pattern more visible. So I'm gonna highlight a little bit where we must cut, so you mustn't get confused. Just watch what I'm doing in the video, and after that we gonna go ahead and cut our pattern. Please watch very carefully. If you don't see nice, don't hesitate to repeat before you go and do it on your own pattern. If you watch a tutorial, I actually advise you to watch it 2 or 3 times to understand, and then do your own pattern. You must always make sure to label. So I'm gonna label it cut and fold, because it's only a single piece. I didn't fold my pattern into 2, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut. Please just watch where I'm cutting and how I'm doing it. So we have 2 pieces, our center front and the side front. Please, you must always label. So if you are just making a normal bustier, you can just use it the way it is. But if you want it to be like a corseting, now you're gonna go ahead and measure on your side front, not your center front. Your side front, you must measure, as you can see in the video. I have 6 inches there. Just measure the whole side front, even with your allowance. So that 6 inch divided by 2, it's gonna be 3. So that 3, I'm gonna take my ruler and take a straight line. Now we're gonna form a new dot. This dot is gonna be more like for a waist snatching, because this bustier I'm gonna make it more like a corseting, not like a normal bustier. So on that line we did take, like I'm checking again, 6 inch. So I'm gonna go ahead and take 0.5 both sides, which is gonna make a total of 1 inch. Just watch what I'm doing in the video. If you don't see properly, restart again. So now I'm gonna connect the 1 inch I just take to the M line, which is the top length on both sides. You do the same on top, and you do the same also on the bottom. Please just pay attention and watch in the video if you don't understand what I'm saying. The reason why I'm making this dot, it's because I want my waist to be snatched, and you can see on top and the bottom I didn't take any that intake there because we don't need it there. We just need on our waist to be snatched. And just to be more clear, I went ahead and take it on our waistline. So just watch me cutting now the pattern. Now we're gonna go ahead and have 3 pieces. Just watch how I'm cutting. So I did cuts on the one side, I'm cutting the second side. After this, you must just label. Please make sure you always label your pattern. So now we're gonna have 3 pieces. Like I said, this is still our side front. Okay, we just made waist snatching dot. So we have our center front number 1 and our side front number 2 and our side front number 3. So yeah, just label your pattern so you don't get confused when it's time to cut. If your pattern wasn't on fold on the center front, please label cut on fold. Please, it's very necessary. So I didn't fold my pattern and it was just on a single. So we are done with our front. Now we're gonna go ahead and draft our back. For the back pattern, you must take 1.5 zip allowance and then you make a straight line. After making that straight line, and then you're gonna come again and make another line on top where we're gonna take our body measurement. Sorry guys, I didn't see that the phone wasn't filming properly. I'm gonna turn around and give you a nice view. Just make a straight line after measuring your 1.5 zip allowance. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take my body measurement. Please remember on the front we did start from the 5 to take our body measurement. So I'm gonna place my tape measure on that line I just made. Now I'm gonna take from my shoulder to my bust, which is 9 inches, and from my shoulder to my waist, which is 16 inches. Please don't take your underbust, you don't really need it. So from my shoulder to my waist, it's 16 inch, and from my shoulder to my top length is 24 inches. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take the same measurement on the other side of the page because I want my line to be straight. We're gonna do the same method. From my I'm gonna take the measurement from the 5 inches. From my shoulder to my bust it's 9, and my shoulder to my waist is 16 inch, and the length of the top is 24. So sorry, I didn't see, my camera was not filming well, but I'm gonna try to turn it around so you can see properly. So now I'm gonna go ahead and connect. The first line is the bust line, and the second line will definitely be the waistline. Please don't measure the underbust, it's not really needed. I realized that I didn't need it after making it, so don't do the same mistake. So I'm not going to use that line actually after filming, and then I'm like, why did I make that underbust line? Is not really necessary. We need the waist, the bust line, the waist, and the top length only for the back. And please take your measurement from the 1.5 seam allowance. Don't take in the, like, you must take before the 1.5. Just watch what I'm doing in the video if you don't understand. And my marker was just too dry, so yeah guys, next time I'll make things better. Now I'm gonna put on my body measurement. Remember my nipple to nipple was 8 divided by 2, I have 4. So I'm gonna put 4 on the bust line, on the waistline, and on the top length. Please don't make that under bust line for your back pattern, you don't really need it. So after that, take your ruler and connect all the 4 inches you just take now together. Oh guys, I didn't know that my phone was turned. I'm gonna turn it now for a better view. So this is how it's looking. You must just go ahead and label your bust line and your waist and your top length. Please, that's under bust, you don't really need it because this is your back pattern. So on the bust line, I'm gonna take both sides 0.5 because this is the back pattern. So 0.5 on the bust line. On the waistline, please don't use that under bust, it was a mistake to make that under bust line. So on the waistline, you're also gonna take 0.5 both sides, which is 1 inch. This measurement you can take it for small size or bigger size, it doesn't matter. So down there on the top length, I'm not going to take any measurement because we don't really need it. So you can see I connect from the top and then I'm going to connect on the bottom. So on the bottom, I didn't take any that intake. I'll just connect it to the 1 inch we did take on the waistline. This method here help your top sitting nice on the bottom, even if you're gonna use it as a corset, so it's not gonna be open or short at the bottom. So I'm gonna put in my body measurement, which is 40 divided by 4. So it's 10. I'm gonna mark 10. I'm not gonna replace that intake because I want it to hold properly the bust line. So ignore the under bust. I don't know why I was keeping on working on it. Now we're gonna go on our waistline. So my waistline is 8 inches. Please use your measurement. I'm gonna mark 8 inches and then I'm gonna replace my 1 inch that intake only on the waistline, not on the bust line, because I want the bust line to be a little bit snatchy so it can sit properly. So I'm gonna go down on my top length or hip line. I'm gonna mark my hip measurement divided by 4, which is 875, and I'm gonna add 1 inch allowance. And I'm gonna go on my waistline. I'm gonna add also 1 inch sewing allowance, and I'm gonna add on the bust line. Please ignore that under bust line. I don't know what was going on with me. So now I'm gonna take my ruler and connect all the measurement together. Guys, you must always double check, double check it best. You do it properly, then do it in a hurry. So I was just checking my 1 inch, which I did put for sewing allowance, if it's the right one before I connect. So now our back pattern is ready. Now we're gonna do our zip side. So when you take all your measurement, like I said, you must take it before your zip allowance, please, before your zip allowance. And your zip allowance can be a total of 1.5 or 1 inch, but I prefer 1.5. So now on the waistline, you're gonna come in by 0.5. This is just to tightening your zip back, connect it to the existing line. And on the bottom also, as you can see. So after that, on the same waistline, on the zip line, you must go in by 0.5 also. So it's gonna be a total of 1 inch deduction when you're gonna be sewing. And now connect it through, like you can see on top there and on the bottom also. So now I'm gonna still have a total of 1 inch on my zip allowance. Connect on top there. Now you're gonna bring in our side front, because I want our side front to be the same length with our side back. But before that, you go in by 0.5 on the side of the zip and 0.5 on the side of the back. Then you bring your side front. Remember, we did put it number 3. We did name it number 3. So you can see the 0.5 is there. So it's going to be the same length. Always make sure you check. So now I'm going to take my roller. Instead of making that curvy line, is not really needed, so we're just gonna make a straight line, because I was thinking maybe I can slant it, but it's not gonna look properly. I want it to be straight, so I'll just make a straight line once, as you can see in the video. Please, before you make your pattern, watch the video twice, because sometimes even the creator can do like small mistakes, but I'll ask you just to watch. So this is me trying like to make it slanted there, but it's not going to work. So I'm gonna label now up and down, because you don't get confused while cutting. Up and down, you must always do that with your back pattern. And sometimes you must notch. When after cutting your fabric, you must notch up, so you mustn't forget while sewing. So now we're gonna go ahead and cut our pattern. Just watch what I'm doing in the video. Don't forget to label this piece 1 and piece 2, so you can label it 1 back 2 back, something like that, but 1 and 2 is better. So that is the back, and I'm gonna bring my front pattern in. The front we have 3 pieces, and the back we have only 2, and I'm gonna label also again up and down, so you mustn't forget, because a lot can happen while cutting or sewing your clothes, so you must always be cautious and be careful. Yeah, watch every step, double check if you want your outfit to be finishing looking good with no mistakes. So just double check your pattern. That's all I can tell you. So guys, this is the top pattern and it's done. Now we're gonna go ahead and work on our skirt part. Remember, we are making a dress, but this dress I wanted to make the top, the bustier top, like a corset thing. This is why you see the pattern is looking like this. And now we're gonna go ahead and make our skirt pattern. Guys, always double check your pattern. You can see I line my back front and my side front together. You can see my back is a little bit sharp and longer, so I'm gonna just cut that piece to make it to be the same length, because you don't want to join and you see your back is actually longer than the front. So if you see like that, just fix it, guys. Just cut that little bit and must be the same length. As you can see now, I'm busy fixing it because I want my top to be the same length. So guys, this is how it's looking. If you didn't subscribe yet to the channel, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up. You can see everything has the same length. If you're my regular, thank you so much for your support. Now we're gonna do our skirt pattern. Please, your pattern must be on fold and the paper must be the length of the skirt you want. So I'm gonna make a longer skirt which I'm gonna attach to my top. So on the top of your pattern, you make a straight line. You can leave it like a 1 inch or 0.5, but I prefer 1 inch because I'm gonna use it at my waistline. So now I'm gonna put my measurement from my waist to my hip. It's 8 inches, and from my waist to my knee is 22 inches, and the length of the skirt is 47, but I'm gonna add 1 inch. That 1 inch is gonna help for the folding at the bottom with my lining. So guys, I'm making this skirt pattern on the floor because my table is too small, so I'm gonna try to show you like I'm trying in the video over there to see everything how it's working. Please use your body measurement, okay? Use your body measurement. Don't say because she's slender or because she's small I can also use her measurement. Bodies are different, so use your body measurement. After that, I'm going to connect all the line together. Don't forget your pattern has to be on fold because we're going to do the slash and spray on the skirt pattern on the top. So that was my skirt length. Now this is my knee line. Just make a straight line. If your pattern is bigger, it's fine, but this pattern wideness was 20-inch wide. So on fold 20-inch wide, on open the whole thing was 40-inch wide. So that is my hip line, and I'm just connecting it. Please don't forget to label hip line, waistline, knee line, and skirt length. You must always label your work, because sometimes when you are drafting your pattern there's this little confusion always come. Maybe touch your phone or think of something and then you end up doing mistake. So on my hip line, I'm gonna go up by 1 inch and go down on by 1 inch. I'm gonna do the same on the end of the paper, and then after that I'm gonna take my tape by my ruler and connect it all together. Why am I making this line? So I'm gonna contour my hip. So contouring hip is actually nice. It's just make your hip line like sit properly. So after making the line, I'm gonna go in and put now my body measurement. So on that line we did take earlier, I'm gonna use it as my waistline. My waist, it's 8.5, and I'm gonna come down on my hip line. My hip line, it's 11.5. So I was just double checking my measurement before I mark. So I'm gonna mark this 11.5 on the first line and the second line, which is our hip contouring line. And I'm gonna go on my knee line. I'm gonna put the same measurement as my hip line because I don't want the skirt to be so pencil. So my hip measurement, I divided by 4, so I had 11.5. So I'm gonna put that 11.5 on my knee and 11.5 on my skirt length. Now I'm gonna take my long ruler and connect everything together. Just watch what I'm doing in the video. You must make sure the ruler is straight. So this straight line, you're gonna take it from the 11.5. We did take my hip measurement. I did take on my hip, on my knee length, and the skirt length also. Sorry, my knee and the skirt length. So you must connect this 11.5 straight line The straight line I am marking, please take it up to your waist. I didn't show it. I didn't know that my camera was filming also. I was supposed to pull my pattern a little bit down, but you must take it until your waist line. I'm gonna show you very soon, but always make sure check the line must be straight, guys. Always check the line must be straight. So this I'm connecting it my skirt length on my knee and hip line, and please take the line straight to the waistline. So now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten the knee. So on the knee line, I'm gonna come in by 1 inch. You can use 2 inch if you want it a little bit tight, but I don't want my skirt to be so tight on my knee because I love my freedom. So on the skirt line, I'm gonna come in again by 1 inch because this is a pencil skirt, but I don't want it to be too pencil. So I'm gonna connect that line from my knee line to my hip line. Just watch what I'm doing in the video. But before that, remember our waist was 8.5. So that 8.5, I'm gonna connect it to my hip line. If you don't have a curve ruler, you can use your hand. So I'm just explaining. I'm gonna connect it now and you're gonna see. So the 8.5 inch we did take on the waistline, you connect it to your knee, to your hip line, as you can see in the video. If you don't have a curve roller, please use your hands. As you can see, I connect it on the first line on the hip line, and you can see on the third line I'm gonna connect to the 1 inch I did take to my knee line, as you can see. Then I'm gonna go ahead there and connect all the line together, but please make sure it mustn't be sharp. Okay, just take your time, check your ruler. It must connect to all this line. It must be a nice line, or else your hip will have that sharp thingy. So if you don't have a curve ruler, you can even use your hand or anything that has this round shape in your house. So after that, I'm gonna go ahead and fix. Please double check, always double check, make sure the line are straight and your cut will be straight. So after that, I'm gonna go ahead and connect from my hip to the skirt length. This is me just fixing that part, that is the hip part. So once it's not nice, so your cut won't be also nice. Yeah, so I went ahead and used my hand just to blend it in properly. So now I'm gonna connect the knee line to the skirt length. Remember, we did come in by 1 inch because this is a pencil skirt, but I don't want it to be too pencil, like I said. So 1 inch is fine for me. You can use 2 inch or 1.5. Yeah, but I prefer 1 inch because I don't want my skirt to be tight, because I was going to wear I did wear high heels and I needed my freedom to work in it, plus getting a baby. So yeah. So now I'm gonna come down on the front 0.5 because I don't want any dot intake on this skirt. So I'm gonna come down by 0.5, and on the side I'm gonna go up by 0.5 on the waistline. Just watch what I'm doing in the video, and then I'm gonna take my curve ruler. First I'm gonna connect that 0.5 up, and then I'm gonna use the round side. If you don't have the round side, darling, you can use your hand to do this. Then I'm gonna connect the 0.5 I did take on the front to the 0.5 up there. So this method help. You can use it without that, or you can still put your dot, but I love this method without putting dot on my skirt, especially on the front skirt. I don't like the dot on the front skirt, yeah, so I love to do this method. So just double check and see, this is how it's looking. If you want, you can still add your dot intake, which is your nipple to nipple divide by 2, and then you make your dot, but I don't want any dot, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut. Just watch where I'm cutting. My paper was too short, so I'm actually a tall person, so I went ahead and add the paper and pin it. So if you have sellotape, you can sellotape. I didn't add any sewing allowance on the skirt pattern because I'm gonna add it on the actual fabric. Yeah, I just realized that when I was already cutting. So this is why I always tell you, please double check the tutorial twice before you cut your fabric. So after step cutting, then I realized, oops, I didn't add my sewing allowance. You can add your sewing allowance only on your waist and hip, then you connect it to the knee line because you don't really need sewing allowance in your knee, yeah, unless if you add a lot of allowance, so you have to add like that 1 inch back, the one we did remove, so your skirt can have a proper shape. So this is me cutting. Just watch what I'm doing in the video. So our skirt pattern is ready. This is the front. I'm gonna go ahead and cut my lining because my lining is not gonna have the slash and spray. So make sure your lining is on fold because this is the front skirt. So first we're gonna cut the lining, and remember to add your sewing allowance, please, if it's necessary. If it's not necessary, well, you don't. But as you can see, I'm pointing. I'm gonna add only a few inches from the waist to the knee, and on the bottom of the dress I'm not gonna add that much because I don't want my skirt, you know, to be like same size as my hip measurements, you know. So I want it to be a little bit, not too V, just a little bit pencil. As you can see, I started with 1 inch on my knee line, and then I was going up because I like to put like 2 inch because I always lose weight, gain and lose weight. So I always put like 2 or 3 inch on my clothes that I make for myself. So I put half on the top of my skirt. I did take 0.5. So that's 0.5 is actually the sewing allowance. Like on my knee, I did take 0.5. Then I went to 1 inch, 1.5, then I reach 2 inch until I connect to the waist, 3 inch. As you can see, I'm connecting now. Next time I'll use a chalk. It's gonna be a white chalk. It's gonna be more visible to see. Like I said, I'm cutting down, guys, so it's a little bit challenging, but we do it anyway. Don't forget to add 0.5 around as a sewing allowance on your fabric. I'm gonna take a closer video to show you how it's looking. This is how it's looking. 0.5 on the waistline, 3, 2, 1. You can see there on the knee line I went in by 0.5 till the length. Just fold your pattern because your lining must be shorter than your actual skirt pattern. So this is why I went ahead and fold like 2 meter and add 1 inch of sewing allowance. So the lining is going to be flipped, so the lining must be shorter than the actual pattern. So this is how the front is looking. This is the lining I'm cutting first, then I'm gonna go ahead and do the slash and spray to give that style you're seeing in the video. You must always make sure you pin your work while cutting, because you don't want the top to be another size and the bottom another size. Just pin it, because I went ahead and removed my button. So it's very important to pin and then cut. Now I'm gonna notch the center front. So this is our lining. Our lining doesn't have to have the slash and spray method, so the lining must just be a normal piece. You must always notch the center or the middle of your fabric. Like this is the lining, I went ahead and notch. So this is how the lining is looking. This is the front lining. So we're gonna go back to the pattern. As you can see, it was on fold. I need it on fold because now we're gonna do the slash and spray method. So what you're gonna do here, you're gonna make lines. Those lines must be like 5 or 6. It depends on how many you want, but I don't want a lot. I want like 4 to 5 lines. You can measure in between the lines like 1 inch or 1.5 or 0.5, but I think 1 inch is better. So I made my 3 line there. I think I'm gonna make 6, at least 6 or 5. So this is to give the style you did see in the video. I end up making 5. I think 5 is enough. So you can measure or you can just make line. Now I'm gonna take my scissor and just cut the line we just made. Just watch what I'm doing in the video. If on your fabric it's not sitting well, you must just go ahead and cut more. Oops, I went ahead and break that paper there, but I'm gonna use my sellotape. So if you put this on your fabric and you see the spray is not sitting well, don't hesitate, take your scissor, cut even more deeper, because you want those spray and slash to be properly. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just showing you. You're gonna spray it like this on your fabric, but for now we are just making the pattern. So I'm gonna show you a better view. This is how the pattern is looking for the front of the skirt. Now we're gonna move to the back pattern of the skirt. You must make a straight line, please. The pattern paper must be the length of the skirt you want. My one is a little bit longer and I'm tall, so I went ahead and add with some pin. But if you have a longer pattern, then it's fine. Just make a straight line, and we're gonna do the same process we did on the front, but this is for the back. On the line we just rule now, we're gonna use it as a waistline. So from that line to my hip line is 9 inches, and from my waist which is the waistline, to my knee line is 23, and from my skirt length is 47, but I put 48, 1 inch sewing allowance. Guys, I'm doing this pattern down. As you can see, I'm trying to show you. And the pattern paper, like I did say, I went ahead and pinned because I'm tall and I wanted my skirt to be a little bit longer. So after marking those lines, you must go ahead and connect it with your straight roller. So that is my skirt length, and the second line is gonna be my knee, and the third line is gonna be my hip line. I'm just trying to get it right, because if it's not straight, darling, you end up cutting a very skew skirt. So don't be in a rush while making a pattern, because the pattern is actually the dress. If there's something wrong with your pattern, then your dress definitely have also that problem. So that was my skirt length. This is my knee line, as you can see. So I went ahead and took a shorter roller because the long one was just giving me trouble. So I'm trying just to make the line straight. And this one now is my hip line. So like I say, just make sure your ruler is sitting properly, and you just make a straight line. Like, you really need those straight lines for your pattern to come out perfect. So I'm gonna label, that is my hip line. Now we're gonna do the hip contour like we did on the front. On the hip line, you come down by 1 inch and you go up by 1 inch. I'm so sorry, I didn't realize that I was just too close to the camera, and I went ahead and do it on the other side of the pattern. Why am I doing it like this? Because I want the line to be straight. Like I said, when your line is straight, your pattern is correct. You won't have trouble when you cut and sew your garment. So I'm gonna make the straight lines. I'm gonna have like 3 lines on the hip line. Now I'm gonna put in my body measurement. Remember, please guys, you must take this measurement like from your zipper allowance, because I didn't do the zipper allowance. I just come and realize it later. So the zipper allowance must be at least 1.5 or 1 inch. So right now I'm busy marking my zipper allowance before to go ahead and put your body measurement. So that did slip my mind. I'm so sorry for that. This is why I always say double check the tutorial before you do your own pattern. So this is the zip allowance I did. I always prefer 1.5. For me it's better, because 1 inch sometimes, you know, I prefer 1.5. It's better. So I'm gonna connect this 1.5 from my waist to the length of the skirt. Just make sure your line is straight before putting in the body measurement. And you must always label so you don't get confused. So I'm busy labeling the like zip allowance. Like I can take my measurement from that line, you know. Yeah, so from that line I'm gonna come in by 1 inch. Now I'm taking my body measurement, and from that 1 inch we did take, I'm gonna take my waist measurement, divide by 4, which I'm gonna have 8 inches. So I'm gonna mark my 8 inches there. And on my hip measurement, divide by 4, I have 11.5. So I'm gonna mark 11.5. And on my knee also, on the line, I have 3 lines on the hip. It's actually to contour. Mark on the first line and the second line on the hip line. So on the knee line, I'm gonna put my hip measurements, divide by 4, which is 11.5, and on the skirt length I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna put my hip measurement, divide by 4. Now I'm gonna connect this line from my skirt length to my waist, because I didn't mark the 11.5 on my waist, but I'll just connect a straight line. Now I'm gonna go ahead and connect. I'm gonna put in my measurements. So on the 1 inch we did take from the zipper allowance, and the 8 inch we did take, we're just gonna connect it to the hip line. Just watch what I'm doing in the video, so you can turn your ruler. Remember, we did take 1 inch, so that 1 inch you connect it to the first line on your hip line, or you can connect it through all 3 lines of the hip line. And remember, we did take our waist measurement. Now we're just gonna turn your ruler again and connect it to your hip line. Just watch what I'm doing in the video if you don't understand what I'm saying. That is our waistline, the hip line. Now we're gonna work on our knee line. On the knee line, you come in by 1 inch from your zipper allowance, and on the other side also you come in by 1 inch. On the skirt length, you do the same. You come in from your zipper allowance by 1 inch, and you do the same on the other side also. You come in by 1 inch, because I don't want the skirt to be too pencil. I just want that little shape, but I want it to be a little bit wide. So if you want your skirt to just be a normal skirt, you don't have to come in by that 1 inch. And if you want it to be too pencil, then you can take 1 inch on the one side on the knee line, and 0.5 on the other side. Now I'm gonna take my ruler. I'm gonna connect from my hip line to my knee line. As you can see, I'm using the straight line. That part you don't really need a curvy, and I'm gonna do the same on the other side, the zip side. So I'm gonna connect from my hip, the hip line. I have 3 lines, so like I'm using the 3rd line to connect to my knee line, and I'm gonna extend that line to my skirt length. Just blend if it's not sitting well with your hands or your curve ruler or your pen. Just make it straight. Now I'm gonna connect from my knee to the skirt length. Remember, I'm connecting to the 1 inch we did take now, because I want my skirt to be a little bit pencil, not too pencil, because if you don't want it to be pencil, you don't have to take the 1 inch off. You can just leave it like your hip measurement, from your hip straight down to the bottom. And this is me. You can take even 1.5 or 2 inches. It depends on how pencil you want your skirt to be. So right now we're gonna do the zip contour, because you don't want your zip to be budging on your skirt. You want your zip to sit straight and flat. So on your zip allowance, like that 1.5, you're gonna go ahead and mark 0.5 on the waistline, and you're gonna come down also on the hip line. You're gonna take also 0.5, and then you're gonna make sure on all 3 lines you take 0.5. This is just to make your zip sit properly. Now I'm gonna connect this line from the point I'm showing you up to the waist. So this is just gonna help your zip to sit straight. After doing that, you might just connect, and after connecting, I'm gonna show you how the pattern is looking, and we're gonna go ahead and cut our pattern. And please remember, when you put this pattern on your fabric, must be on fold, like you must have 2 pieces of fabric, you must have 2 backs and 1 front. But I'm gonna upload the cutting tutorial after, because this is gonna be a very long tutorial if I want to put everything at once. So this is just me checking, making sure I connect it properly, because like I said, a simple mistake can ruin your pattern or your outfit, because your pattern is your outfit. Yeah, so just double check. So this is me showing you after connecting. And when you cut on your pattern, on your fabric, you must always make notches to remember. Yeah, now we are done with our back pattern. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this pattern. Like I said, guys, I'm working from down. You can see where I'm cutting. Just watch the video, zoom in and see what I'm doing. Next time I'm gonna use a cookie. It's gonna be more visible because the pen or pencil is not really visible. Just watch what I'm cutting, please. Like I said, you must always double check your tutorial. Watch it 2 times, 3 times. You must understand, then you go ahead, you draft your own pattern. Don't be in a rush of doing things and then you do it wrong. Rather do it slowly than you do it right. Guys, I forget, if you're gonna use a dot, just your nipple to nipple divide by 2, that is gonna be your dot. If not, you must just go on your zipper allowance up by 0.5, and on the other side also you must go in by 0.5, and then you must connect it. So you can use this without a dot, this method, or you can use it with a dot if you want to. But I love my skirt or my stuff to be dot free sometimes, so I'm not gonna use any dots. But if you're gonna make a dot, you can divide the back by 2, or you can use your nipple to nipple measurement, divide by 2, then you create your dot. Your back dot can be 5 or 6 inches long. Yeah, and you can use 1 inch to make a dot. So this is me cutting the pattern. I'm gonna show you to you properly once I'm done cutting. So this is how the pattern is looking. We have only 1 piece. If your paper was unfold, you can have 2 pieces, but it's not really necessary, because this 1 piece you can cut 2 backs on the folded fabric. So this is how the pattern is looking. Now we're gonna go ahead and create our slit. The slit can be any length that you want. My one, I want it to be a little bit longer, so it's gonna start on my knee line. I'm gonna come down by 5 inches from my knee line. So this is where my slit is gonna start. Guys, this is the end of the tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. In the next video, I'm gonna show you how I did cut, and I'm gonna show you how to sew. So this I went ahead and cut already. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, share, like, comment. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.